Good morning, everyone. It's Friday, October 16th. From the San Antonio Express News, my name is Luis Vasquez, and this is your Express Briefing. All of the stories you need to know to start your day. You can expect mostly cloudy skies and showers with a high of 75 degrees in San Antonio today. On the other side of this cold front, temperatures are expected to rise into the 80s this weekend. The 2020 presidential election is expected to be one of the highest turnout elections in recent memory, with many ballots flooding in by mail amid the coronavirus pandemic. As of Wednesday, nearly 2 million Texans had cast ballots in a surge of early voting. Meanwhile, the latest data shows first-time claims for unemployment benefits rose both nationally and in Texas. And now let's move on to our top stories for the day. University Health System has nearly doubled its workforce over the last 10 years. It currently employs nearly 8,500 workers and more than 900 attending and resident physicians. And it's building a new $500 million hospital that will add another 300 beds. But UHS's financial results reflect its struggles. The system posted an operating loss of $315 million in 2019, which was an improvement over the $335 million it lost a year before. Laura Garcia examines the reasons for the losses and the outlook for Bexar County's safety net healthcare provider in her latest article. In an election season when unprecedented numbers of Bexar County voters have requested mail ballots, hundreds of them are making the trek downtown to the elections office every day to deliver their ballots in person. About 400 did so on Tuesday, followed by 250 on both Wednesday and Thursday, said County Elections Administrator Jacques Callen. 62-year-old Gwendolyn Royster had every reason to send her ballot through the mail. The disabled Army veteran suffers from lung disease. Instead, Royster drove downtown Thursday to the Bexar County Elections Department. Find out why she and many others are showing up in person instead. Actively retired and soon to be 68, Dave Ludwig has walked the 80 miles of developed Greenway trails almost 4 times and done numerous trails multiple times, averaging this year about 190 miles a month. Ludwig's mission was not part of any epiphany about life's real meaning, nor a green crusade by a weekend naturalist. He just wanted some interesting exercise, sometimes alone, often not. And yes, like many others since the arrival of COVID-19, he wanted a daily airing of the brain to fight off homebound malaise and the rancor of American politics. He's found interesting people, great places to eat, and other hidden gems of the urban outdoors. Earlier this week, Bexar County officially expressed its support to take the baton and fund the continuation of the city's Greenway Trail system, but the question of how they're going to do it remains unanswered. For 2 Southwest Research Institute scientists, the best thing about Tuesday's launch of the Jeff Bezos-funded Blue Origin rocket from Van Horn was not so much the promise that an elite few may soon orbit in space, but that a novel asteroid sampling device was on board and taking the first big step towards scientific stardom. Alex Parker and Dan Durda are 2 scientists with SWRI, the San Antonio Research Lab, who watched intently from the West Texas desert outside Van Horn as Blue Origin's New Shepard rocket carried their baby, the Box of Rocks Experiment 2, aka BOR 2. It featured a new technology, the Clockwork Starfish Sampling Device, which they hope will retrieve asteroid debris. For innovation, Parker said, we look to nature and millions of years of evolution. Bruce Selcraig takes a closer look at the mission and the technology in his latest article. Get ready to vote with our 2020 Texas Voters Guide. Our comprehensive survey of the candidates in key national, state, and local races, along with voting frequently asked questions, helps you get ready to cast your vote. You can check that out at the link in this episode's description. October 13th is the first day of early voting in Texas. Check out our interactive map of early voting locations in Bexar County and visit our 2020 Voters Guide for more information about voting, the candidates, and ballot measures. You can find links to all of these guides in this episode's description. Also, be sure to check out other Express News podcasts such as Puro Politics, In Depth, and the Express News Editorial Board. You can find links to those podcasts in this episode's description. Next up are your need-to-know headlines. You can find all of these headlines and more inside your Express News subscription. The San Antonio Metropolitan Health District reported 224 new coronavirus cases on Thursday, bringing the area's total case count since the start of the pandemic to 60,258. 2 new deaths were also reported. The Bexar County death toll is now at 1,209. After losing thousands of donations this year because of the coronavirus pandemic, San Antonio's blood bank is reporting critical shortages in blood products that could jeopardize surgeries and the treatment of trauma patients. As millions of voters pour into polling stations across the state, a new study has found that Texas has the most restrictive voting process in the country, up from number 46 in 2016. Just hours after vice presidential candidate Kamala Harris told a national television audience she was coming to Texas over the weekend, the campaign had to postpone the trip because a member of her staff tested positive for COVID-19. With many consumers continuing to avoid dining out, Buffalo Wild Wings is planning to open up 2 San Antonio locations solely for takeout and delivery. San Antonio drivers can expect delays on the west side this weekend. Construction work on Texas 151 will close the entire highway in both directions at Loop 410, according to the Texas Department of Transportation. Bexar County has reclaimed bare land on the east side, once called the Goonies, planning to turn it into a verdant, productive 10 acres to be known as the Greenies Urban Farm. Among San Antonio's private universities, the greatest dip in enrollment came at OLLU, which this semester has 6% fewer students than at this time last year. The pandemic's effect on student numbers won't be a long-term trend, but the changes it forced on recruitment and admission practices might be, officials said. Governor Greg Abbott announced Thursday that he has selected former Texas Appellate Court Judge Rebecca Azipuro-Huddle, a Republican, to fill a vacancy on the Texas Supreme Court. Governor Greg Abbott's order limiting counties to only one mail-in ballot drop-off location will remain in effect while Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton appeals a state judge's decision to block it, Paxton said Thursday. U.S. Rep. Roger Williams, a Central Texas Republican and member of the House Financial Services Committee, used his powerful post in Congress to try to help a top donor in his dealings with a publicly traded bank, court records show. This week, a judge ordered the Bexar County Elections Department to operate at least 302 Election Day polling sites, 18 more than the county had planned on providing. Gilbert Garcia explains how the ruling came to be and what it means. A new report gives Texas an F on climate science curriculum for its schools. This is troubling, the Express News editorial board writes, adding, our children and grandchildren need to be conversant in the science and policy discussions around climate change to better drive future solutions. Not many Texas hotel owners can truthfully say that Bonnie and Clyde hid from the law in one of their rooms or that Elvis Presley once paid a visit to their property. But Don Page can. He's the owner of the historic Alcalde Hotel in Gonzales, 73 miles east of San Antonio. For as storied as his hotel's past is, however, the reality today is that its business is mostly dependent on oilfield workers. Randy Diamond takes a look at how Page hopes to change that with the help of a chain operator. Three top San Antonio restaurants open new restaurants with style. Haute, Ming, and Southerleigh. All three are well-known brands in this town. Now, all three have extended their brands, flying in the face of pandemic logic last month to open new restaurants fed by their kitchen credibility. Senior Zach Schwalen is thriving as Antonia and Apache's quarterback after serving as backup for 2 years. The San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo will happen in 2021, according to the event's website. Calvin Finch has your guide to feeding birds in San Antonio, while Neil Sperry addresses glad planting and other readers' gardening issues in his down-to-earth column. The pro boxing card on October 31st at the Alamodome will boast several big matchups, including San Antonio's own Mario Barrios attempting the first defense of his WBA super lightweight title. But it will also be the first major boxing card with fans in attendance in months. And that's all for today. This was your Express briefing for Friday, October 16th. My name is Luis Vasquez. Please consider becoming an Express News subscriber to get in-depth coverage on all the stories you heard today. Also, be sure to rate and review this podcast inside of your Apple Podcast app, as it really helps the show. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone. See you Monday.